Hello, Stacie, and
Hi,
welcome
Martin.
back. Hello.
Hi, Martin. Hi, Jake.
Are
Hi.
you right? Can you see
I'm
me
so
all
happy
right?
to
I
be
haven't really
back.
done
Honestly,
this before. This is
this is exciting.
this is new for me. Martin's done this before, but I ain't really done this before. I'm a little bit. I'm not very tech savvy. You see, I'm better at
Well,
talking in person. But can you see me all right?
I can, and you look fantastic.
Oh, you are
You're,
so
you're doing good,
lovely. Isn't
mate.
she lovely, Martin?
She is. Yeah. So,
I do have to admit that I should have, if I was really on brand today, I would have worn my red flannel.
Do you have
Wouldn't
one?
that have been so cute? I'm sure. I live in the mountains. I've got flannel for days.
Oh, brilliant. Love it.
well, you're looking great, Stacie. You're looking great, and it's so nice
Well,
to.
I just woke up, so.
Well, of course, yeah. It's early morning for you there in Los Angeles, where it's the afternoon for us here in
Yeah.
the UK. But yeah,
Wonderful.
it's good to catch up again and see you again. Because, of course, you've been on the podcast before. But last
Yes,
time
I
I felt
have.
like I left you with some disappointment because you did ask that question, where is Jake? Where is he?
Yeah. Well,
Aw, I feel
you've
all
course corrected me.
sheepish now.
Oh my God, you have no idea. I have a ridiculous love for puppets. When is it okay if I call you a puppet? I don't want to assume.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fine. We don't really know what I am. We've kind of discussed it a few times, but I'm a big fan of the
same
Muppets.
Girl,
so
same.
yeah, exactly. So to be described on par with them is quite a compliment, if you ask me.
Well, I have to tell you, when I was much, much younger and I had just graduated university, I graduated on a Saturday, and I knew it was the University of Texas, and I really, 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 all I wanted to do was be in New York City. So I graduated on a Saturday, and I left for New York City 4 days later with three things: a trunk full of some clothes, $40 in my pocket, and a puppet.
Wow.
No way! Wait.
He's in
Tell
the
me more
garage.
about
He's
this
in the
puppet.
garage. Well, his name was Leo the Lion. He literally is in the garage, but I'm not going to go get him. I should have.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But Leo the Lion, I don't know. He was a Macy's puppet or something, and my mom
Aw.
had given him to me, and I was just like, this was my spirit animal, if you will. And I thought, well, that's all I need to make it in New York City.
Yeah,
$40
I
in a puppet
completely agree.
and something to wear.
I completely agree. Some people say that I'm Martin's spirit animal.
Yeah,
Ah,
very, very
I
much
can
so.
see that.
I'm
can
his
see
inner
that.
child, as it were, in verity speak.
Well, it's funny you should mention the key words, inner child.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like all of my work is sort of really personal and stuff like that. We're jumping right in, Martin. I hope you don't mind.
course,
But
no,
when
we
you
go.
say the term, when you say the term inner child, okay, so there is a book. There is a book called Homecoming by John Bradshaw, and this thing has been around for 40 years at least. I don't even know, but
Right.
I've done a lot of therapy here in LA because that is what you do. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
I think it's healthy for
every time
everyone, to be fair.
I think so too, for sure. And it always comes back to that book, Homecoming by John Bradshaw. So, interestingly enough, back in the day when I was at the University of Texas, I took a class. It was just supposed to be a creative writing class, but little did I know we were going to be doing Homecoming by John Bradshaw. Have you ever heard of this book?
Yeah, I have
I've not.
actually.
Have you, Jake?
Okay, you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what I'm talking about, Jake. This
Right,
is
okay.
amazing.
I need
So
to
what
learn
John-
more here.
Okay, so here it is. And it's tough stuff. So if you do it alone, you take lots of breaks, take lots of walks. But what it is it's a how-to guide. So it's basically worksheets and prompts and things like that. So the book challenges you to go back to little version of you and from birth, literally from birth. And as you grow up, you do all these questions and answers about where are you? What does the house look like? Who's in the house with you? What's the energy? What's the vibe? And I did all this work when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
And the work that I'm doing now very much relates to exactly anyway, because I save everything, I found the bin that had what I wrote when I was 19 years old about Homecoming, John Bradshaw. And oh my God,
Ooh.
I sat there yesterday just pouring through how I saw the world and who I thought I was. And I was, I, I'm never going to tell my age, but that at that age, I was picking up on things that completely permeated my life until today, where I'm like, wait a minute, I knew something was off. I knew something was wrong, and I knew I was carrying too much responsibility for others at such a young age, and it echoed through my life until now, where I'm like, oh my God, that's not my job. You know?
That
Anyway,
is
so I
such an
highly
important
recommend it.
lesson.
Yeah, yeah. But I highly recommend it. Find it. But if you have a therapist or a writing group or something to support you while you do it, unless you grew up in a really, really, really sturdy, just perfect family, you'll have nothing to write about. But because of my dysfunctional family, I have material for days.
And how does it
That's
feel then going through homecoming? What is that process like? Because you talk about that needing a community around you, needing people around you as you go through it then.
Well, I feel like, as we walk through the planet, on Earth
Mhm.
now, we walk as our current self, right? But we carry with us that little version of us, that child that was maybe an innocent victim of something, or maybe a bystander to something, or a witness to something. And while you go through homecoming, it's very important that you protect that small version of you, that younger version of you. And so you kind of find compassion for your adult self as you take care of little me, as you go through the questions and answers, and you go, oh my God. Like, now that I'm an adult, I can look back at that child and go, oh, girl. This was none of your business. This was none of your concern. And yet you got sucked into it and you carried it. And it's
Yeah.
hard and it's emotional. But at 19, you're still kind of like, hey, whatever. The stakes aren't that high yet.
Mm.
But at my age, 35, just kidding, I'm not. But, at my age, I look back now and I go, oh my God, if I could just go back in time and take that little girl by her hand and say, this isn't your fault. This isn't your job. This is just go live your life and leave it behind you. That's what I would tell myself. But
That's
Well, that's
so
quite.
inspirational and
Mm.
so
and
healing, I think. And I think a lot of
I
people
am
will
an
be able
inspiration,
to.
Jake.
Yeah, I completely agree. I can see that. Just looking at you, you're radiant. But it's funny because on the podcast, we talk a lot about, thinking about your inner child and the importance of play, and the fact that there's something about becoming an adult where you just accept that it's time to stop playing. And Martin and I have this talk all the time about how it's so important, even as adults, to keep playing and keep being curious about the world.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree 100% because I'm not a very good. I used to take things so very seriously as a child because I
Right.
had to. But now as an adult, like, here's a funny story, again, puppet related. Sorry, Martin, you're going to
Brilliant.
talk in a minute.
It's okay. I'm
But
loving this.
when
I'm well
it was
entertained.
Brilliant.
just give me a puppet and I'm like, we're good. But
Keep going. Say more nice things about me, Stacie. Say more nice things.
literally, like, I don't know, it must have been like 15 years ago or something. We were having family Christmas in Texas, and I talk a lot about my sister. She's very much a very dominant presence in my life. I've always looked up to her. I respect her. I admire her. I'm jealous of her. All the sibling,
Aw.
emotions. But we were at in Texas opening Christmas gifts. And she's very beautiful, and she is very aware of how she presents herself to the world. So she's always
Right.
done up. She's always done up. And so she loves shiny things. So her husband presented her the gift, and it was, of course, maybe a diamond bezel watch or a ring, or, they're jewelry people. So it was just jewelry. And then I got my present, and it was a puppet. It was actually a whatnot. Oh, I like folk minus, and I like whatnots. Anyway, we'll talk about puppets later. But
Very cool.
and then
Very cool.
Sandra's kid, he was like maybe 6 at the time, and he just looked at his mom and he goes, Mom, why do you get jewelry for Christmas and Aunt Stacie gets puppets? She goes, I don't know. She's weird. I'm like, no, I'm not.
No.
No, I'm not. Like, it's like, puppets make me happy and jewelry is just, puppets have a soul
Yeah.
and jewelry is just shiny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I know for sure that Jake's definitely got a soul there.
Thank you.
You can feel
Okay.
the energy coming from Jake as he's on this conversation with us. But I think
Absolutely.
with everything that you're saying, Stacey, I think is really good for Jake to hear because Jake is still young. Jake's still in
Oh.
his teenage years. We're
Oh,
not quite
yeah.
sure of his age because he's got a bit of a mystery going on in his past, we're trying to discover things as we go through the podcast. But we
Well, we
do
can
know that.
tell that I've got baby feathers. Like I haven't quite grown
Oh,
out of my
yeah.
feathers yet,
And I see you have a
But we've
little, you have a blemish or
ah,
maybe it's a
yeah.
Band-Aid. What happened there?
So that's actually from the podcast. So Martin's got these mics and
Oh,
they
no.
hang in front of you. And I think, as a bird, I'm just not quite as aware of my beak as I should be. And
Same, girl.
it always hits
Same.
that point. Yeah, you get it, girl. But the mic always hits that part of my
Oh,
beak, so it's just kind of a
yeah.
permanent fixture now. But it's okay. It's like
Yeah.
a tattoo reminder of the podcast.
I got you. It's a
It's a podcast wound, is what
Yeah.
it is.
it is a
podcast wound.
yeah, that's
We
what I was
work
trying to come
so
by. I only
hard
had
as
one cup of coffee,
creatives.
so my brain's like, there are words that they are not forming. Anyway, hi. I'll shut up now.
No,
No, it's okay.
we love to hear you talk.
Yeah, so what I was getting to.
Well, in that
Stacey,
case. Okay, go ahead, Martin.
was how can we help Jake stay playful as he moves into adulthood? How can we help him
Well, I
keep
would
that
say
innocence?
what has worked for me is being very involved with people who are younger than I am. So I've always worked with young children, whether I was just like a teacher of like toddlers at one point, that kept my playful spirit alive. So it was always being involved in the lives of younger people. And now that my boys are 18 and 21, it's awesome because I just feel like I'm 18 and 21 again because I've just been like, I brought them into my world, and through their
Right.
adolescence and growing up, they're bringing me into theirs. So I'm always aware of what's the music they're watching or what they find funny on the internet and, their favorite porn. I'm just joking. That is not what they're. I'm sorry, Jake. That was inappropriate. That was not age
That's
appropriate.
hilarious, though.
No,
No,
but
it's fine. I've heard worse on the pod. It's
Oh,
fine.
Martin's left the room. Sorry.
It's okay. I've had worse. But I think that's really cool, though, because you probably have
Yeah.
a better insight, because each generation, as you kind of go through life, it's so easy to forget. I don't know, because I think I see a lot of grown-ups suddenly forgetting what it was like to be the age of their kids and saying, oh, why don't they do this and why don't they do that? And forgetting that they were
Yeah.
once that age
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it
I have
wasn't
a
that
friend
long ago,
who's
was
like,
it?
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like it was yesterday that I was a kid, Stacey. I don't know what it's like for you,
Yeah.
but I don't
Me
feel
too.
like
I still feel like I'm a kid. I do not feel like a
Yeah.
grown up. I probably shouldn't have children.
Yeah. How did they allow this to happen is often a question
I'm
I
a good
ask
mom.
myself.
I'm a good mom. I'm a good mom. I'm a good mom. But yeah, I've just been always like goofy. Like, I grew up in a household that had very strict rules about the dinner table. We always had to bless the food. And it was always this very, it's just this whole, there were 5 kids, 2 parents. It was a blended family. It was just constant fighting and chaos. But it was beautiful, beautiful home. But we had one major rule, and there was no elbows on the table, right? And if you put the elbow on the table, then a black leather belt would be administered to your backside. And so I was just always like, oh my God, what is it about elbows on the table? I have no idea. But when I grew up, when I was like raising my kids, I say grew up because I was growing up again too. I was just like not that, I was like, whatever. So like what I would used to do to my kids is if we were having green beans, for example, I would shove 2 green beans in my top lip, and create fangs. And then I would turn to my kids and give them like a really stern lecture about proper table manners. But I had 2 green beans hanging out of my mouth.
Brilliant.
And the kids were just like, that is so funny. And I'm like, you just can't take dinner tables so seriously. Like, we're not sitting with the queen or king right now.
Yeah.
Let's just eat the green bean.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny, you said a second ago, "Ah, I haven't really done much growing up, but it's okay because 'cause I'm a good mum." I'd argue
Mhm.
that keeping that goofy element of your personality alive is one of the things that makes you such a good mum, because
Thank you.
you can
Yeah.
connect with them and you can be on their level and have fun with them and bond with them rather than
Yeah.
always having to be the strict parent, you know?
Yeah, exactly. There was one time when we do pickup at the elementary school, and at the time I was in a comedy band. It was called Mommy Talk, and so it was these two moms. Me and my friend created this comedy band about motherhood, and it was just really funny, and we did it for about 10 years, but we had alter egos, which were daddy tonk. So mommy tonk, we were very honky tonk southern women and whatever, but
Right.
daddy tonk, we had these long ass beards, like ZZ Top beards, big sunglasses, huge cowboy hats, and western shirts. And so whenever we'd bring out daddy tonk, everybody would just be like, oh my god, you two are nuts. But one day at pickup, I said, I was working with Shannon at the time, and I said, "Get in the car, we gotta go pick up my kids." I said, "But let's go pick them up as daddy dogs." So we
Oh,
went to the
that's
carpool
so
with these
funny.
massive beards, and then my kids were just like, "That's my mom." They weren't embarrassed, they thought it was
Brilliant,
hilarious. The principal was
brilliant.
like, "Let's keep an eye on that one." I was like, "Don't be worried about me."
What do you
It was
think it
that
is
fun.
about other adults that get fearful of that play? Why do you think other
I think
adults
it's
are
because they're not in control,
mm,
you know?
yeah, I guess we seek that, don't we? As we get older, we're seeking and fighting for that control. And when we see other adults completely okay with not having it,
Yeah.
it's a little
I
bit
mean,
scary, isn't it?
yeah.
I heard a
And I
thing
just
from
think that our
someone.
society just feels like
Yeah.
you should act a certain way at a certain age. I'm like, "Oh, forget that." But go ahead, Jake, you were gonna say something.
No, similar vein. I was going to say, I heard someone say something really profound. They said, oh, what was it? Sorry, bird brain. Oh, yeah, everyone is just pretending. When you look
Yeah,
around at adults all the time, everyone is
yeah,
just pretending and trying to
exactly.
act like they know what they're doing. And I guess
Mhm,
when people start to play and get curious, that has to slip because you can't
mhm.
know what you're doing because you're trying to
Yeah,
explore and be curious. And I think you're right that that's scary for some people.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure, in my growing up, like, if you acted nuts, you'd get in trouble. Like,
Yeah.
there were definite consequences for going off the not going off the rails, but just being a little too silly, and I was like being the last of 5, though, in a chaotic home, I was very blessed to have my own, world in my room, and, I made up characters, and I had this mirror, and I had really long hair then, and I would, like, dry my hair and, like, sing into my microphone, and I put on my own show, and people, they were just like, "She's weird, just she's funny at the dinner table sometimes, she's weird, leave her alone." My sister was always an athlete, so I was always like, "I this is just what I do," and we
Yeah.
still rival because of that. I'm like, "I'm an artist, you're an athlete. We're different,"
Yeah.
so,
So you've
anyway.
always been into embodying characters and things. I mean, Martin was telling me, and obviously the last time you were on the show, you talked about, your one woman show, and I think that's really cool. Have you got anything else coming up? Or like, is there anything in the
Oh, I
pipeline
do.
for you?
I do. I'm so glad you segued into the promo. Okay,
I'm
He's
so
quite
excited.
good at this.
every
He's quite good, isn't he, Jake? He's good at this
I'm
Thank you,
telling
podcasting.
you,
thank
I
you. I
tell you,
do
he's
try
very
my
He's a
good.
pro.
best.
He's good.
So, I have a new show called Fool's Goldmine, and
Ooh,
in the past, I've always been in the comedy world or the musical comedy world or the very lighthearted, stand-up comedy, improv, all that stuff. But then after COVID, life was just happening at such a rapid pace. I thought,
yeah,
oh boy, uh, I want to talk about some things, and I
yeah.
was doing some deep work. And so each of my shows now reveal sort of a part of me that I'm trying to understand and a part of my family that I'm trying to understand with compassion. And I'm trying to understand what was actually happening in the world as well as in our house when all the nonsense happened. So, this year's show is called Fool's Goldmine. This is my fourth solo show in the last 5 years. I'm trying to crank one
That's
out every year.
impressive.
Thank you. At some point, the the subjects will dry up, but not yet. But Fool's Goldmine, the tagline is "I'm just a girl from a long line of credit," and it is about growing up under the false pretense that I was a rich kid. And then, as the
Ooh.
last of 5 kids, I was born in Houston, Texas during the oil boom. And then when everything went bust, it affected everyone. There were certain people that were not affected, but my dad was a salesman of life insurance policies. So all the people that he sold to weren't paying their premiums, and his business went from, a lot to a little to,
Oh.
too little. And so they ran out of money. But then I realized that a lot of it was just credit, 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 credit. And I was like, did you ever have money? Was there ever really money? I think it was rich. I think we were rich for maybe 15 minutes. That's what I always say. We were rich for 15 minutes in the 80s. But being raised in an environment in a subdivision that was very affluent, very wealthy, everyone around us was, I guess they were impervious to this downturn in the finances, because everyone else stayed very wealthy. But my dad was very, and my mom too, were very insistent that I be able to finish high school from the home I grew up in, which was I always say, like, it was it was magical. It was beautiful. It was
Oh.
ridiculous. If you saw us back then, you would go, my God, they're the richest people in town. But then I realized he was overextending himself to keep up with
Ah.
the Joneses. And that really did a number on my identity, because I was like, well, wait a minute. My sister was born at the right time because she got all the things. I'm talking like when she was 16, she got a brand new Audi 4000 for her birthday. And when she was 18, she got a Rolex because she graduated high school. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And then, of
But
course,
when you think
I,
she doesn't have any material for one-woman shows, which is what
well,
you've
she
got.
does, but she
Yeah.
hasn't done the work. I'm
Ah.
like, go do the work. Go
Yeah.
do homecoming, and then you'll have work for days. But no, these are people who mask. They wear masks to hide the feelings or they drink, or whatever they do, they have something that protects them. And what makes me different is that I'm like, I just rip the mask off in my shows and I just go, here's what happened. And most people go, what? And I
Yeah.
go, yeah. And it was nuts. It was a nutty time to be born. And I got to have a really magical childhood, but as I was growing up into an adult, I had very mixed emotions about it, because I was like, wait a minute, how much of this was necessary? None of it. And how much strife and conflict was happening in our family because of the insatiable desire for diamonds and minks and Mercedes, and it did them in. And so and then it all went away. Like, the house got repossessed, the cars got repossessed, it was just but it's like, but for me at that point in my life, I was like, I don't want any of this. I don't want it. All I wanted to do was see the world. I was like, I want to go to New York City. My dad took us to London when I was 13, and it changed my life. I was like, what is this place? And I'm like, this is what I want. I want to end my life with very exciting and lovely photo albums and
Well, I guess
stories.
that's a different way of being rich, isn't it? When you think,
Oh,
like,
for
you
sure.
grew
Well,
up
that's,
thinking
yeah, of
that
course.
you came from a kind
Mhm.
of a rich household. When you think
Mhm.
like knowledge and seeing the world and having that freedom, that's
Mhm.
another way of filling your cup, as it were.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah,
really cool.
for sure.
Go on,
Like
Martin.
I wonder at the end of this life that if we get a moment to review what we've been through, we're not going to count the items that we've purchased, are we? We're going to
And
go
nobody wants
through.
them. Nobody wants your
No,
stuff.
no. We're going to go through those scrapbooks. We're going to go through those
Yeah.
memories if we get a chance.
Yeah.
We're going to go through
So
the things that we did rather than the things that we bought.
exactly. And so I in the show is comprised of true stories, of course, and then original songs that basically take you through the story, and it all has to do with money. And I know it's like
Wait, it's a
in the
musical.
UK. Yeah, so look, it's not a musical like a song and dance number,
Yeah, but
but it's just
songs.
storytelling and songs. And the
That's
songs
so cool.
were Oh, thank you. I'm really proud of the music. I'm really proud of all of it, but I have assembled this team. It's no solo show is done with one person alone, as we all know, or we should know. And my song co-writer is a guy named Sam Small. And Sam Small, we were in a band together years ago. It was just a fun community band here in Topanga, and we just hit it off because we wanted to see who could drink each other out under the table, and then we were both under the table going, "I can have another." Anyway, so we were just friends from the start. So anyway, but he is one of these ridiculously talented lyricists. He's a poet, he's a composer, he's a producer, and he's right in the middle of my kids' ages and my age. So it's kind of funny. I'm like, well, anyway. So he just fits in my family just beautifully. But
Oh.
so we started writing together years ago. He co-wrote "No Good Drunk" with me, and then this one, "Fool's Goldmine," and this. He's so excited about this album. I'm so excited about this album because even though the show has a lot of really funny stories, once we get to the music, and this is what I'm kind of creating my brand or identity or whatever, it's like you'll come and you'll laugh and you'll go, "This is ridiculous. What a funny show." But the minute I sing, you'll be like, "Why am I crying about fried chicken?" You know what I mean? Because we just have a nice way of like telling the story through song, and it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. So it's not like when I did Laughable a few years ago. Laughable was like a really funny, I had a couple of songs in there that were like, "Oh, why am I crying in this comedy?" But this one, I'm like, I'm leaning into it. I'm like, come on, we don't. There's a lot of comedy at Ed Fringe, and I'm like, look, I'm going to bring you comedy, but I'm not in that category. I just have more to say, and I want to reach people. And the great thing about my shows, and I'm not there for commercial success, although if I got it, hell, I wouldn't be mad. But what I like the most is that at the end of the show, someone will come up and say, "Oh, I have a story like that too." And then we just grab a lemonade and chat. It just sparked conversation. Jake, are you getting tired?
No, 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 I'm good.
Oh, I thought you
Honestly.
were yawning. Sorry, I want to
No,
make
no,
sure you
no,
didn't need to
no.
fly
When I
away.
when I do this, it's I've got like I'm really
I
conscious
understand.
that I've
Yeah.
got potentially seagull blood. Like some people say that I'm part seagull, and when I
Mm.
laugh, it sounds like a seagull, and I can't do that on the podcast, so I have to do this silent laugh thing up here. So
That's
that's
better.
what it is.
I thought you were yawning. I was like, well, that's my time.
No, no, you're good. I'm really intrigued actually. It's actually funny that you said about the impact that your show has on other people because I mean, I'm only guessing like your reasons for going into it, but I'd imagine it's quite cathartic to talk about your lived experiences. But then what's that like hearing inevitably when other people come up to you and say, "Oh, this really struck a chord with me."
Mhm. It's refreshing because I don't come from a family who talk honestly about what was ever going on. We had one really big fancy rug in the living room, and everybody would just sweep all the trauma under that rug. And I'm like, I just threw the rug out. I'm like, y'all want to talk about it, because that's why I do what I do. There's two
Yeah.
reasons. I do that to initiate conversation with people who might also be like, "Oh my God, I've never said it out loud, but I had that too." Or the other reason, which is more important, is that it's the legacy that I leave to my children. So they're 18 and 21. They're about to embark upon life and
Oof.
make their own mistakes and choices and great choices and jobs and relationships and all this beautiful stuff that lays ahead, right? Lies ahead. And I want them to have a reference so that as they go through life and they're like, "Oh, I'm dealing with money issues. Oh, is there someone in my life that's an alcoholic?" Or, "Oh, my body is not acting right," or what. I have a show. Oh, mom wrote a show about like that. Let's watch it. It's kind of a guidebook, really.
Stacey, I often think, am I doing this for my kids as well?
Oh,
Off
of
when I'm when
course.
I'm when I'm asking the questions, when I sit here and do this,
Hmm.
I often think, I hope my kids one day look in. Like, I
And they
know right
will.
now, they're at similar ages to your kids. They're
Yeah.
17 and 21, and they've
Yeah.
got no interest right now.
Yeah. Oh,
Occasionally
yeah.
they'll like a social media post, but that's very occasionally. But
Hmm.
in I have that same thought every now and then that, like,
Well,
I
it's
hear a
like
guest
this. Like,
speak.
if I don't know where your parents are in the world, if they're still here or not, but
Mhm.
as people pass on, and then you come across their voice or a video. Like, we didn't have this. My
No.
mom was never on a podcast, but she passed away about almost 2 years ago, and I was sitting with my dad last month, and he's like, "Do you have any videos of mom? Do you have her voice?" I said, "Oh, little does he know, because they don't see my shows, but No Good Drunk was I had actual like, I always have this with me, my production studio, right? And whenever anybody's talking about, the hot stuff, I just press record, and I just set it right next to them, and I go, "Well, there you go." And so I sent him this hour-long voice recording of my mom talking to me talking to my mom about the stuff she never talked about right before she died. Oh my God. He was like, "This is the greatest gift you could have ever given me." And I'm like, "I
Wow.
know." And I was like, "How do you feel about that?" Click. And I was like, "Now I'm recording you talking about," you know what I mean? So
That's
it's kind of
that's so
nice. But I
It's
know
so
our kids
funny
are
you
going to be
mentioned
like,
that,
"Ah,
Stacey, as well, because
mhm,
me and Jake have been talking about doing this we do this a lot for entertainment. We do this
mhm,
for theatre shows, for films,
sure,
but we've
sure.
talked about, like, the human impact of this, and could we
Mhm,
do this for maybe an older generation that want to share their stories
mhm.
and document their voice
Yes.
and what it is
Yes.
that they wanna share with the world? 'Cause we have got a tool now, the internet, YouTube, that where we can
Mhm.
echo for eternity, potentially.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think it's really crucial that, we have all these issues with social media being fake, or, oh, everybody's like under a mask and they're all, their perfect lives are being projected. And I'm like, well, I'm the antithesis to that. I'm just like, no, no, no. I know I just share the real stuff. I mean, yeah, I put on makeup this morning. It's not doing as much heavy lifting as it should, but anyway. But my fact is that, like, I don't want to hide from
Mhm.
the real the good stuff, the one that you're like, at funerals, whenever you go to a funeral, that's when all the true stories come out, right? That's where everybody goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, you didn't know that back when you were 4 years old, blah, 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 blah," and then everyone
Mhm.
leans in going, "I wanna hear I've never heard that story." It's like, "Nah, that's what my shows are." My shows are those stories where I just pull them out of the people in my family and I go, "I need to understand because I'm having an identity crisis. Who am I?" In the show, I do ask, if I'm not daddy's little rich girl, then who am I? And then I answer the question, I'm daddy's little rich girl's younger sister.
Brilliant.
Because she
That's
was born at the
hilarious.
right time. And I'm like, and then our whole lives have been this competition, but I'm like, I don't want the same thing that you want. And there's no way that you would ever have the desire to stand up and talk about the truth of who we really are and what really happened in that house on Foxgate in Fleetwood in the 70s and 80s. There's no way on earth you would ever find that enjoyable. I love it. I'm like, that shit's rich, you know?
And
That's rich. You know what I mean? Like,
what about
that's
your
rich.
audience? What about your audience then? What do they say? You know, we kn
Well,
you said
most of them
earlier that they
go,
come out
"Did
and
that really happen?" They go, "No, you made that up." I'm like, "Oh, honey,
yeah.
no." It was outrageous. I would say my childhood was outrageous. It was outrageous. I mean, in my first solo show, Bulletproof Unicorn, that dealt with the mental health, or rather the mental illness of my brother and his addiction, and he threatened to murder me and my kids a few years ago in Texas. Like, grown ass woman, with grown ass kids. And I was going down there to try to help him and save him, because I like to fix people. um, and it never works. Isn't that weird? But in that show, I talk about the fact that every day when I was young in this big, beautiful house, I would walk from the Gone with the Wind staircase, because we had a Gone with the Wind staircase, as you
Beautiful.
do. And I would walk down the Gone with the Wind staircase and around the corner on the marble floor in the entryway, and then I would cross through the den to go to the kitchen, and I would pass 3 bullet holes in the wall. And everyone's like, "That's not true." And I'm like, "Oh, but it is."
Oh, it
And it
is.
was from a botched robbery that my brother tried to, he tried to he let his friends know when we weren't going to be home, so that they could break in and steal my dad's Rolex and my mom's jewelry and all this shit. And so they did, but my brother came home too soon and they shot him and then they stabbed him in the side. And then let me tell you what they did. He got himself, he shot, he stabbed. My brother drove himself in his muscle car over to the Fleetwood Racket and Swim Club or whatever the fuck it was called. And I was having a swim meet. And we look over the fence and there's ambulances and there's just a commotion. And I'm standing on the blocks going, hey, I'm about to come in dead last in breaststroke. Anybody want to stick around and see? They're like, no, girl. There's more excitement out there. But yeah. And then my dad, he came home from the hospital and my dad was like, I know damn well you know where my shit is. You have 3 days to get it back. And sure enough, 3 days later, in the mailbox was a Ziploc bag with my dad's Rolex, my mom's jewelry, and this money clip. I mean, girl, it's just crazy. All of it's crazy.
But that's where
And some
the best
people bury
material
it. They
comes
bury
from.
it. They bury it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
I'm
think,
like, you guys, I couldn't write that.
yeah. And I think
just lived
it's
it.
becoming a lot more socially acceptable to talk about what used to be called like the skeletons in your closet, because
Sure.
it used to be such a thing, as I've heard, that it was like, oh, we have to uphold the family
Sure.
status and
Oh, right.
what will the neighbors
Yes.
think. But the reality is everyone's got something going on. No one's
yeah.
perfect. As humans,
And
we
I
can't
think
be.
there was
Well, I'm not human, but you know.
Yeah.
there was a generation as well that did keep those skeletons in the closet, and it didn't do us any good, did it?
No. In fact, No Good Drunk, this is the greatest thing. No Good Drunk was a story about how alcoholism and addiction basically ravaged every generation of my family, as far back as I could actually find documentation, okay? And what I looked at it, because I was really curious about my brother and why my brother ended up the way he did. And when I realized his story happened the generation before and the generation before, and I was like, oh my God, it's the same story. And history doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And I was like, oh my God. But here's the great thing. All the skeletons were hid, not in a closet, but they were hid in my grandmother's filing cabinet. Now, Mimi lived to be 96 years old, and she was an executive secretary for one of Howard Hughes's companies. I don't know if you're familiar with Howard Hughes, but he was like a tycoon back in the
The
day.
aviator.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
So she
Yeah.
worked for one of his companies, Hughes Tools, and she was an executive secretary. She used to win all these awards because she was so buttoned up and so organized. Well, what she did, and she gave me a gift because I'm the family documentarian, every answer to every question my mother never knew about her father, who died when she was 9 from cirrhosis of the liver in El Paso, and he was buried in another woman's grave. Anyway, that was No Good Drunk story. She left all the clues in the filing cabinet. And so when I got down there with all of my curiosity and my questions, I was like, first of all, my mom never went to her dad's grave. So I was like, well, I'll drive to El Paso. It's only 12 hours from here. So I drove to El Paso with my kids and my husband. And I was like, let's go find his grave. Anyway, there's more to that story. But as I started to find more information, it only, raised more questions. So she left all the answers. Everything my mom ever wanted to know was in a file cabinet in her house. She just never opened it. She never looked. And I did. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So now with Fool's Goldmine, it's interesting. I kind of am like, Dad, my dad is still alive. And I'm like, do you have any pictures of the Fleetwood house? Do you have any like things like, we had a lot of tangible things, but the pictures, that's all I wanted. I was like, I don't care about the stuff. I just want the pictures because the picture will really tell the story better than a thing can, So I'm trying to put it together with everything I have. I didn't get a camera. I got a camera when I was in like 8th grade. So that's when I used to take pictures of everything. I've always been this person. I'm always like, oh my God, I got to capture this. Oh my God, I got to capture this. There's a story here, and thank God I did because I'm making this show now. I'm like, oh, I have so much content, because I always use multimedia just to show you like, this is nuts. Who grew up like this? This is crazy. Anyway, we had a pair of ringneck doves living in a cage
What?
in the grand entry hall of this house.
What?
Like, who has it? I don't know why we had ringneck doves, but we did. And they would be
Bonkers,
like,
that's coming from me.
I know.
That's bonkers.
And I'm
but
like,
I kind of love it.
I do too, but I'm like, where did the birds come from and where did they go when we lost the house. Like, where do the birds go? Did you just open the cage and send these like domesticated birds out into the wild? Like, oh my God, I don't know.
They're like, stop, we
Shit was
don't want to
crazy.
leave.
Shit was oh, they probably did. They were like, too much fighting in here. This is crazy. Who lives like this? Anyway. Maybe the next show will be written from the perspective of the birds.
Wow.
There's a great comic
I'll help you
writer.
with that.
His name is Simon Rich, and he was one of the youngest writers on SNL, and he's great. He has no social media. I don't even think he's on, any of the platforms, but he's just this guy that'll just crank out these little books of short essays, and I love his writing so much. He has a story that is told from the perspective of a goldfish inside a very elite private school, preschool, like
Oh, that's
in Los
funny.
Angeles or upper west side of New York, in the posh, like really elite, and it's so funny. I think the book might be called Spoiled Brats, but I'm not sure. Segueing. So now I'm an adult, right? I watched my whole life of chaos, of like bill collectors calling the house night and day. No one ever answered the phone. We just let it ring. I'm like, anybody gonna get that? They're like, nope. And so it just became a normal thing. And so then I find myself as a grown-up in Los Angeles at my present age of 37. Just kidding, I'm not 37. And I am in debt to my I'm in so much debt right now that it's almost unbelievable. And so Fool's Goldmine unpacks how I got where I'm at right now and why. And it was not mink coats, and it was not jewelry, and it wasn't stuff like that. It was more like, in America, we don't get healthcare for free. We don't get the things that you guys get for free. We pay high taxes, and we get nothing for it, except for we get to go to war and bomb, other countries. It's just how we live. But our taxes don't support us in a way that other countries do. So we pay high taxes. We get jack shit for it. And then we have to pay out the nose for any kind of medical insurance or medical needs, and especially mental health. So we've had a series of mishaps. I don't know. Are they mishaps or are they haps? I don't know. Life happened. And the great thing about credit cards is that I was never able to depend on my parents because they were flat broke by the time I was 18. But my credit cards always had my back. So whenever we had a medical emergency or a mental health emergency, or, everybody just was dropping dead left and right. And I was always on a plane, like trying to caretake for people. And there was always an arm of my budget that was supporting my parents. So we come full circle and I go, oh my God. Now I'm an adult. I've got kids. And I'm still on the hook for my dad. And I love my dad. And I understand him now a lot more than I did when I was in college, trying to put myself through school, waiting tables. And I worked 40 hours a week, and I went to, every day I was like at class at 8 a.m. and then I'd work the night shift till 1 a.m. And it certainly wasn't the rich girl going off to University of Texas on daddy's dime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then once I got, so anyway, you'll see. But it's a very emotional story for me because talking about money, like in the UK, you guys don't talk about it, right? It's just a taboo subject. Am I right about that or am I wrong about that?
I think
It's not
for us in
something
the UK, there's lots of topics that are a bit taboo in the UK in the sense that we
Tell me about
tend
that.
to be we're a bit more reserved, I think, in the UK.
Yeah.
I think we hold back from going into maybe we do hold back
unless we're down the pub
hide.
and we're six
And
pints.
let's be down the
That's
pub.
where I like to meet all my Brits. The pub.
Yeah, and especially down in Edinburgh, when you come to Edinburgh, it's the
Well,
environment.
it's my local is the Oxford bar.
Is
You
it
go to
really?
the Oxford bar. Oh yeah,
That's where
and
we'll
it's
find
in
you.
Newtown, and the bartender is the greatest bartender on the planet. His name is Connor, and
Mhm.
he is amazing, and I adore him. And everyone that walks in that room, Connor just takes good care of you. And Millie used to bartend there, but she left. Anyway, I just feel like family when I walk in there. I'm like halfway across the world, and they're like, "Oh, Stacie's here." I'm like, "Oh, hi." Now let me.
It's because
Okay,
it's
Martin, so
like-minded people, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're all a little crazy and a little tipsy.
And that's one of the beautiful things with the Fringe, isn't it? When you're at the Fringe, everyone feels the same. We're all playing the same game,
Yeah,
but we're
yeah.
playing it together, not against each other.
That's exactly right. Because I live in Los Angeles, and Hollywood is a very competitive town, right? The minute you get to Edinburgh, it's like we're all doing it. Everybody's equal. You know what I mean? Like we're all trying to find
Mhm.
an audience. We're all just trying to make it to the end. And I do love that about Fringe. I mean, there is something slightly addictive about it because I aspire to write a show every year because I want to be doing the Fringe until I'm 80 years old, where I'm like, I'm got another Fringe show. I've got something else to say about this. But Martin, hold on, we got to go back a bit. I want to know, because this is actually research for me, what are the
Of course.
topics that are taboo in the UK? Like, what are things that you guys are just like, we don't discuss that,
Ooh,
other than
that's a
feelings and money?
Wha Go on, Jake. What's a bit taboo in the UK? I guess we're me and Jake are in a weird space where we're on the podcast and we talk about everything and there's no
Yeah,
subject
Yeah.
I
off
think we're
topic
quite
here.
lucky. I think
Mm,
people talking about anything that's um romantic in a kind of,
Oh.
that kind of like, that's a bit kind of taboo, is talking about. I think anything where a lot of kids in the UK talk about how embarrassing things are. They're like, oh, that's
Hmm.
so embarrassing, or this is so embarrassing.
Hmm.
But I think, like Martin said, we're quite lucky that on the podcast we meet a lot of people and creatives, and it has become a space where any topic can be discussed and
Yeah.
looked into. And
Yeah.
I think it's healthy to talk about
mm,
things and not feel like you have to uphold a mask all the time, that you
Hmm.
can just be honest about certain things, and you can just
Hmm.
say, do you know what, I'm not very good at this, or I don't really know
Hmm.
what I'm doing. And I
Yeah.
think the more you do that, as you're probably finding, the more you do that,
Yeah.
the more other people come up to you and go, I don't really know what I'm doing either.
Yeah. Everybody lets their
And
guards down.
it's
Yeah.
this freedom. It's wonderful. And
Hmm.
like, I know that Martin said last year with the Fringe, he really found that kind of sense of freedom and connecting with people who are like-minded and want to
Hmm.
express themselves and find new
Hmm.
ways of expressing and connecting with other people. It's so important.
Yeah.
and
It
because we're in
is.
the arts a lot, yeah, in the UK we talk a lot about creating a safe space, and sometimes that
Hmm.
term is overused a little bit and not
Hmm.
always understood. But when it
Yeah.
is understood, that's about creating a space where we can share anything, and where
Hmm.
when we do that and we've possibly made mistakes in the stuff that we're
Hmm.
sharing, it's
Yeah.
okay. Like
Yeah.
it's not, we're not going to be attacked for
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah. Or and you don't ever want to be like. There's another theme through the show of Fool's Goldmine, which is burden.
Oh,
My
yeah.
objective is never to be a burden to anyone for any reason at any time. In fact, I literally just had, in my personal life, I just had 3 surgeries back to back to back because I'm about to lose my health insurance. No, no, everything's great. This is
Okay.
just the season of repairing and
Okay.
rebuilding. So everything is
Ah, I
fine.
love that.
But I
That's such a good
chose to do,
mentality.
yeah, I was like, look, I my youngest is about to go off to college, so I'm about to be an empty nester, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to fix some things that I have been ignoring." Anyway, one of those things was a brand new knee, and I'm so excited because I have a brand new knee, but, like, literally a month ago I did
That's
this.
exciting.
But even in my post-op knee surgery nonsense, where I'm literally, like, walking with a cane or with crutches or with, a walker, I'm like, "Don't worry, I got it. I don't wanna be a burden. I don't wanna be a burden. I got it. Who wants dinner?" Whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
my doctors are like, "Stop doing that because you're going to mess up the work that we just did. Take it easy." But now I'm feeling much better.
I
I'm
Good.
actually
almost
think you've
walking
hit the
right
nail on the
again.
head, that
Yeah.
that is a big thing, I think, in the UK,
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
people not wanting to appear weak. And the
Mm.
taboo, I guess, in that sense, is asking for help. Brits
Oh,
don't ask for
yes.
help.
No,
They
they
just don't.
don't. No,
No.
they
They're
don't.
like,
In
oh,
fact,
they're like, I'll be fine.
I met a friend. I was like, I made him a sandwich. And he's like, "That was delicious." And I go, "Do you want another?" "Oh, no, 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 no." I went,
Yeah,
"I think you want another sandwich." And he's like, "No,
yeah.
no." I'm like, "You
it's
do?"
almost
He's
it's
like, "I
almost a
do, but I would
default.
never ask for it." I'm like, "Well, how the hell do you do it?" I was like, "How did you conquer and colonize the world by not asking for shit?" Like, you got this is me. I go, "I want that." And it's not really gonna be a materialism thing. It's more like, I'm trying to achieve this. This is my goal. Ba, 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 ba.
But
I'm gonna work
it's a
really hard until I
need
have.
or,
But it's just
yeah, a
saying what you
requirement.
want. It's manifestation. It's like going, I want another, but I want. But here's my thing, because I married a British man, and I'm just like, oh my god, you cannot be passive aggressive with me because I'm not gonna do the mental math
Yeah.
to work through all of the. Don't make me do all of that mental math. If you want something, you must ask for it. He's like, make me a sandwich. I'm like, fuck you, make your own sandwich. No, I'm just joking. I didn't say that.
That's brilliant. That's the right response. But yeah,
No,
I think there's
but you
this
know what I mean? It's just like,
underlining,
ask for it.
yeah, there's this
Say
underlining
what you want.
fear amongst
Yeah.
Brits of being a burden or appearing rude. And
Oh,
it's so
yes.
detrimental. And you end up having to do, as you put it quite beautifully, the mental gymnastics of having to figure out if someone wants something. It's as simple as if someone offers, if there's a plate of biscuits and cookies and there
Yes.
is one left,
Yeah.
no one in the room will go for it. And someone
I
will
will go
say,
for the cookie.
do you want the last cookie? And someone will go, no, you have it. And they're like, oh, but I can't have it because now I know that you really want it.
Oh,
Okay, so,
God.
and then
Where
no
does
one
this
has it
come
and no
from?
one's happy.
Why? Yeah. Oh, I'll eat the cookie. I'll be like, well, then I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I like cookies. In fact, if I had the perfect diet, it would be cookies and crisps. Just potato chips and cookies.
Yeah.
I think,
That's me.
Stacey,
And
it goes
Sprite.
back to that. I think it goes back to that thing that you said earlier about when your parents made you not put your elbows on the table. I think
Yeah.
it goes back to previous generations. Previous generations had sets of rules them sets of rules are still echoing and still trickling through to today. But some of us are figuring out, what does it matter if we put our elbows on the
Yeah.
table? What
Doesn't
does it
matter.
matter if we have the last cookie? But I guess we need to keep fighting with
Yeah.
why is that a rule? We need to keep
Yeah.
questioning, don't we?
Yeah.
Keep
I guess.
curious about why we
Keep
do
My
things.
curious.
and why
poor
other
kids
people
are going to
do
go out
things.
into the world being like, I'm
Give
like,
me all the
oh,
cookies.
They're gonna
who are you raised by an
They're gonna
animal?
get
I was
that
like,
cookie.
yes. Get the cookie. Eat the cookie.
they're gonna get the
There's
cookie.
one lesson here. Eat the cookie. Ask for the sandwich. It's not a thing.
No.
That should be the
All right,
title of this
what else do you
episode.
wanna-
Eat the cookie.
Eat the cookie. It's not a thing. Yeah. Okay. So have I? What else do you want to know? I could talk all day, but I don't know if there's more that you want to know about.
Well, I know,
Fool's
Jake, that you need to
Goldmine
go.
or-
We'll stay chatting for a moment, Stacey, once Jake goes. I know that, Jake, you've got to get
Okay.
off to your dance class, haven't you? You're doing some
Yeah, I
dancing.
do. I'm trying out lots of new different things, Stacey, in my pursuit of curiosity. And
I
today
think that's
is
great.
dancing.
Well, I was a dancer when I was a kid. I was the youngest member of the Houston Academy of Dance. I was on point before any other student.
Whoa.
Like, I was the youngest member, and it was one of the biggest joys of my life. I loved
Yeah,
dancing.
I'm not going to be on point anytime soon. My feet,
No,
they're not
you just
really
need
made
specially
point.
modified. You need modified tap shoes. Maybe just put some little
Yeah.
something on the.
Yeah, that'd be
I
great.
would pay to
I'll have
see
to do that
Jake's dance show.
anyway. Okay.
Yeah, I think we're
Well,
gonna have to make that
one
happen,
day
aren't we,
you'll be first on my list, Stacey. Oh, it was
I'll
an
be front
absolute
row
pleasure
center.
to meet you.
Jake, it's been an honor. Are you kidding me? This has made
Oh.
my whole day.
No, me too. Thank you so much for chatting with me. It's been amazing.
Oh,
Martin,
you've
you
been
all
hopefully
right?
our paths will cross.
Yeah, you've been great, Jake. Thank you so much for joining in, and we'll
All
catch
right.
up again soon, Jake.
All right, I'll see
Bye,
you both
Jake.
later.
No troubles.
Bye.
Bye, mate. See you soon.
Oh God, thank you for
Hey,
that.
Stacey,
I
so
needed
that
that.
was Jake.
That was
No,
well worth the wait. That was amazing.
Before we press record, I just had a little thought, and I was like, how many people out there in the world right now are going to be doing like a video call with someone like Jake with a puppet? Like no one else is
Nobody.
on that ride. No one else
Nobody.
is having that.
That's
No
our
one else
ride.
is going to. That's our ride right now, is that we get to be with
It's so
we get
great
to be with
because
a talking bird.
because if it was just a morning show and you only heard it, but you didn't get to see it, then it wouldn't be
Mm.
as, like, special. But the
No.
fact that this is it goes out to the YouTube and the world, you can see that there's
Yeah.
this sweet
A
little puppet.
talking
Oh,
bird.
I love
But
it.
he is magical, and I'm so pleased you mentioned about the puppets having a soul, because I feel that with Jake. I do feel that
Oh,
there is life
totally.
there is life there.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I have a couple of friends who, my whole life, I just was enamored by puppets, and,
Mhm.
my favorite puppet, I think, of all time is the Bear in the Big Blue House, which I don't know if you know about Bear in the
Yes.
Big Blue House, but
Well, we do,
it's
and
oh,
he
you
may be
do,
on the
so
podcast. He may we're talking to him to get him on the podcast. Future guest, hopefully, fingers
are you being
crossed.
serious? Because I
Well, we're talking. We'll
I
see what we
wanna
can
meet
do.
well, I did meet the Bear in the Big Blue House. When I was in New York
Mhm.
City, Bear in the Blue House was at, like, just an event, and I was like, "Oh my god, I have to go meet Bear in the Big Blue House," and I was, like, 25 years old, whatever. I was very much an adult, and I ran up, like, as if I was a child, and I threw my arms around this big, orange, huge because the puppet is massive, it's a person inside this massive, and I was just like, and that bear held me, and I just burst out crying. Now, I don't get, like, starstruck at all. I don't care who you are. I'll meet you. I don't care. I don't care. I will talk to anybody. Everybody's a human, but Bear in the Big Blue House? No, that was,
Perhaps
like,
something different.
this was something different, and I think that was also speaking to my inner child. Whatever that bear gave me that day in that hug, I was like, "Oh, I
That's
knew this
their
existed.
power,
I just didn't."
Stacey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's it. That's the
Mhm.
power right there, that they can talk to the inner child directly. Like,
Yeah.
like Jake. I've seen Jake do it. I've seen Jake do it with you today, and I've seen Jake do it with
Yeah.
others. Just tap
Yeah.
right into that inner child. They don't have to, when I'm talking to someone and I'm asking questions, people just
Yeah.
see this like guy that's got some things he wants to find out. But whereas
Mhm.
Jake can go deep. Jake can
Yeah.
go to that younger version of themselves.
Totally.
Yeah.
Puppets.
So
But yeah, I have a
yeah.
couple of friends who are actually, Muppeteers. They work for Jim Henson, and
Oh,
they are
wonderful.
actual, like they're some of my favorite people, Amy Enriquez and Ithamar Enriquez, and when I met them I just met them a couple years ago, I'm like, "You work for Jim Henson? You are Muppeteer." I'm like, "Oh, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard," you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And they're playful, and they're fun, and that spirit of play is very much alive in their life, and that's why I love them. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Wonderful.
you're gonna be in
Mm,
Edinburgh.
oh,
You're gonna
yeah,
be
we
there.
well, still I'm working it. I'm gonna be there. There is no way that I'm not gonna be there.
Yeah,
Like you, Stacey,
that's me. I'm like,
I'm gonna
"I
be
don't care what I have to do. I'll be turning tricks in the alley, I don't care."
I'm gonna be going there until I'm 80. Like, it's
Yeah, me
happening.
too.
It's
Yeah.
like, I have to go. There's no money in the bank right now.
No, there
It's
is never money in the bank, and that's the funny thing
no.
about writing a show about being completely broke and doing French. People are like, "Make the math." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. I'm just gonna make it
Yeah,
happen." Like, I think the
the
universe always
the magic has
provides.
worked. The magic with them, if you I've found if you put yourself out there and you do the work,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next thing comes. It's like, so next week, I'm
Mhm.
going to the Cannes Film Festival, and I'm telling you, Stacey, I'm going to the Cannes Film Festival, again, with no money in my bank, and you're not gonna believe it when I say it's just happened through magic.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you said the magic word, magic. I
yeah,
believe in magic.
yeah,
I believe
yeah,
in it. And I believe in
100%.
manifestation. And I believe that everything that's coming to you that's really good, that means that the minute you find the thing that you're trying to do, the universe absolutely provides and the universe aligns with your plan. And then you go, well, I couldn't have planned that. So there must be
That's
some
exactly
great positive forces working for my benefit.
the
That's all
the
it is.
dots to me getting a plane ticket given. I've been given a plane ticket,
Oh my
Stacey.
God. Magical.
I've
Magical.
been I'm being put up in a hotel. I'm being looked after, and it's a
Oh,
series of events
oh my
through
God.
connection and friendship,
Oh, it's
and
the best
other
kind.
people wanting to see me just succeed in
Yep.
what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
I
And
love
yeah,
that so much. That makes
it
me
go
so happy.
it goes against everything I was taught as a child.
Yeah.
It goes against what that 8-year-old was told. That 8-year-old was told, you
Mhm.
know, do the studies, get the higher paying job, and
Mhm.
that's the only way that you're gonna have a life. And
No.
I tried really hard to
Yeah, we all
do
did,
all that
didn't we? Then we're
stuff.
like, "Oh, what am I doing this
Yeah,
for? This is so
yeah.
stupid." Yeah.
And as soon as I
It's
came
just it's
away
not
from
stupid, but it's not
that.
fulfilling. It doesn't fulfill
Mhm,
you, and then you don't have any room for magic, and you're like I really do feel, though, that there is such a creativity that's necessary when you are down on your luck, and that you
mhm,
don't like, when my credit cards finally gave up the fight, it was when I was in London last year doing No Good Drunk. I got
mhm,
myself out there and, again, I'm on my own dime and I'm like, "Oh, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this?" And I got out there and I was like I had a whole mix up with the Airbnb. It's a long story, but basically I could not get into the Airbnb. I was like, I have given them
mm,
all the money, but I can't actually get in. I can't figure out the smart lock. I don't know what's going on. I'm leaving. And so it was a nightmare. I had a great show. I got 5-star review and I was so proud of myself. But then here I am in London going, I have no money? It's like, I have no money. I have no money. And then I saw a couple of friends, my friend Steve Silverman, who I think you interviewed. Did you interview
Yes,
Steve
yes, we've
yet?
had
Okay,
Steve
great. Yeah, yeah,
Silverman
yeah.
on the show, yeah,
And
recently,
he's
yeah.
like, "What do you want to do? What do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to eat?" I was like, "Child, let me tell you something. You've known me a long time. I'm going to be straight up. I am broke as a joke." And I go, "I can afford a walk in a park." And he goes, "Great, we'll go for a walk in a park." And he goes, "And I'll take you to breakfast." And I'm like, I am not a taker. I've never been a taker.
Mm,
It's a very awkward feeling for me to have someone be generous to me that because I've always been like, "I got it. I got it. Let me pick it up. Let me
mhm,
pick up the tab. I'll pick up the tab because I don't want to feel guilty or a burden or any of those yucky feelings." And this was the first year where I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna let you take me to breakfast, and I'm not gonna fake
mhm,
reach for my wallet because there's nothing in there." And I had to accept that
mm,
uncomfortable feeling and go, "You know what?
yeah.
Okay."
Everything beautiful happens outside of comfort zones,
I'm gonna
doesn't
hold
it?
on to that. Yeah.
In every sense of the word. Every time that we have that uncomfortable feeling and we push through it, that's when
Mhm.
the beauty happens.
I think so too. And what is more uncomfortable than the Ed Fringe? I think people misunderstand it, like, especially in America,
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh," like, my sister will say, "Oh, it must be nice to go to Edinburgh, Scotland on a vacation for a month," and I'm like,
You have no
"Child,
idea how hard
if that
it's
is my
difficult.
vacation, it is a marathon of epic proportions, especially if you're doing a full run, and they just don't get it, and you're like, you're welcome to come over in a year and find out what it actually is that I'm doing, but it is not an easy task, but I love it. And quite frankly, for me,
Mhm,
I'm like, oh, that's a walk in the park compared to my normal day. But you know, because I only take care of me in Edinburgh, it's just me,
mhm.
and I go, I don't need to look after dogs or the house or the kids. Even though I don't really look after them anymore, I taught them to look after themselves. I'm like, oh Jesus, you've got to do some of this heavy lifting yourself because it's too much.
Stacey,
It's too
it's very,
much.
very similar. It's very similar for me, actually. Someone said to me recently how, I have got Jake there supporting me through the
Mhm.
podcast, but a lot of
Mhm.
it I do on my own, and I go out there in
Yeah.
the world on my
Yeah.
own, and I'll go to cans on my own. And someone said to me, how are you doing this on your own? And I'm like, because of that same thing, because I've
Yeah.
done all them really difficult things like with my
Mhm.
kids and with my
Oh god.
family, and
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been through like I feel like I now know what real struggle is at this point in my life. That when I go
Yeah.
to somewhere like the Fringe that is hard work, it's
Mhm.
different because
Mhm.
I've chosen to do that hard work,
Oh,
and
yes.
it yeah, there is a different feeling to it that
Well,
still
because
pushes
I
you to get
think
up early in the morning and till the end of the
yes.
day, you know?
Oh, yeah, and you find energy that you didn't know you had because
Mhm.
what you're doing is every single day at Fringe, I find that I'm replenishing my soul. It is not about,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got a review or I got an audience." I'm like, "Ugh, thank you. I needed to talk about this." And I needed to see someone laugh or connect or if I'm singing a song and I see them like I just love like I put a lot of time and energy and effort into especially well all of it, but especially the music. And I am so lucky to have the team that I have because when you work with Sam Small, you get Sam Small's team. And then my
Mhm.
engineer is a guy named Kevin Jarvis who is very well known out here, but He just so happened to be in a band with me in a few years ago, and we hit it off. And so he has this beautiful studio, but when people hear the record, when they hear the album, they go, "Oh, that's not just a track. That's not just like, oh, we pressed record and we laid down the tracks." It's like there is such high quality to sometimes I feel like my voice isn't even good enough for what's underneath my voice, but I'm like, well, it is what it is, you know. I'm not gonna go off to Juilliard now. I'm just gonna tell the story. But I love
It
it when I
adds to
see
the
people recognize that.
authenticity.
Well, yeah, I'm like, look,
Yeah.
if you wanted to go see opera, you would have gone to an opera. If you wanted to go see a musical with someone who's classically trained, like you would have picked that. There's something very
Mhm.
real and accessible. This is how I do it. This is why I do it the way that I do it. I just want people to go, oh, huh, that felt very authentic. And that felt
Yeah.
like, sometimes I get really emotional in my shows where I'm like, this is cutting real close to the bone here, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but and then you see somebody just with a tear down their and you go, "Oh, you know this story too." And then of course at the end they give you a big hug and they go, "Let's go have a drink and let's talk about that because I have it too." And you go, "Oh, what a great I'm so glad you picked my show today. I'm so glad you picked my show today."
Yeah, that's
Because
all food for the soul, that is. That's
Mhm. Yeah.
and when we're going into them spaces like the Fringe, I feel like they're every single day is one of those days that will go in the scrapbook of life that you review at the end.
Oh, of course. And you I don't know, like, I always like reading stories, like success stories for people who, like,
Mhm.
against all odds, I made it. Against all odds, I made it. And I always have this theory that if you really wanna make it in Hollywood, you have to be so broke you live in your car. Because
Mhm.
every Jim Carrey did, Jewel did. I can't tell you how many huge stars were like, "I was just living in my car." And I
Yeah.
had this belief that I could do this thing, and that if somebody would just give me a chance, it would change my whole life. And then they go to, like, mega stardom. I'm like, "I don't need mega stardom, please. I do not wanna be famous. I don't want I never wanted that. I just wanna, like, connect with people and have just a tiny bit of money in the bank would be nice." You know what I mean?
There's definitely something in the sacrifice, I feel. I feel like with the manifest I haven't got the equation for this, but I think within my recent manifestation of on my way to the Cannes Film Festival,
Mhm.
I feel like there was a build up to that moment where I was sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice,
Mhm.
and then a win.
Yeah. Oh,
And I don't
the wind will carry you way into the next
it
valley. You know, you're like, "Ah, I know it's
mhm,
possible because it's happened before and it'll happen
yeah.
again." Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I'm completely confident. I have no I haven't found my venue for where I'm gonna be carrying the podcast. I haven't found
Oh,
my Airbnb yet. Like, I know nothing, but I am
yeah.
so confident that it
Yeah.
will happen, that I will be there,
100%.
even if I am sleeping in my
Sleeping in
car
your
and we
car.
and I'm doing and even if I'm doing podcasts from my car, or as I've done in the previous years, doing podcasts around a back street somewhere, like, it will
Absolutely.
happen. I just don't know the
Absolutely.
way yet.
Well, I will just say that, like, and here's my little 2 cents for Airbnb. Sorry if they're a sponsor. They made me so angry. I was like, "Oh my god, Airbnb, what are you doing? I've been a client for literally since you started." Anyway, I would just encourage you to find another it is too expensive. Like, especially in Edinburgh, I would never go through Airbnb for Edinburgh again. I'm like,
No, no,
"Why? There's different
there are
ways."
other options. Yeah, so
Um,
the
yeah,
way we will find the way. Now, Stacey, before I ju we, jump off, because I do have
yeah,
another podcast to do after
yeah.
this one.
Oh my gosh,
It's
okay.
a podcast evening for me here. So, I do
Yay!
have since we spoke
Wait, who are
last
you
time, I think
interviewing next? I wanna know who you're interviewing.
who am I interviewing next? I can if where's my hold on, I'll tell you.
I have to know, I'm so curious.
It's a little streak, all Fringe related at the moment,
Huh.
'cause it's we're in Fringe preview season
I
at the
know we
moment.
are. Oh my god.
This is the build up. So, we have
I
of
put you on
course,
the
I just,
spot.
I've not wrote down you put me on the spot and my
I put you on
phone's
the spot.
hold on. It's important for me to check before I jump
Well,
straight
I
in.
always am curious because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, I'll look for that show. I wanna know who these people are," and, it's exciting.
Well, one of
Everybody's a
the things
fringe
that I'm
friend, you know?
Well, one of the things that I'm doing with the podcast as well is I feel like I'm building a community here,
You sure
and
are.
and
Yes.
and you already know some people that have been on the podcast. You
Mhm.
know Steve, who's
Yeah.
been on the
Yeah.
podcast, and there are some of these connections that people don't realize they connect. And some guests I know for certain can help each other out, and we can work
It's
together.
you have to
You
build your
know,
community, right. Have you
so
done,
yeah,
Lizzie Sunshine? Have you done Liz Coyne yet? She's great.
she
Hopefully
was
you'll talk to her.
she was one of my highlights of the Fringe last year,
Yeah,
and
she's amazing.
I know next week, the week after next, she's going to be in London, so I'm going to
Yes,
try and
she
catch up
is.
with her there.
Oh,
So,
fantastic. And then, there's Meg Chiswick. Well, now she has a new last name, Meg Mullane. She's bride to
well,
be.
see,
Yeah.
we know. See, it's amazing, isn't it? How we're
And
all
it's also
connected.
like the other thing that kind of makes the community is Greenside. So I've been at Pleasant, I've been at Greenside, I'm at Greenside again this year, and Greenside just has a very strong community. Once you're a Greensider, you're a Greensider for life, and it is a fantastic community. So a lot of my friends are Greenside this year.
Marina Mario,
Ooh, I don't know
and she's
her.
bringing a show to the Fringe. Love in the Time of the Fifth Grade.
Oh my god, what a great title.
So
I'll
there's
check it
going to
out.
be a story there, isn't there?
I can't wait. I can't wait. Well, I'll tell you who my love was in 5th grade. It was Peter Brackley. No, he was 3rd grade. I was always in love with somebody. I was always in love with
Yeah,
somebody. 3rd grade was Peter
yeah.
Brackley. 5th grade, I don't know who it was.
What would been fifth grade? Because we don't have the same terminology here in the UK for.
Well, let's see. We
Like,
go kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th,
oh, that
5th.
is
So
basically
it's
the
your
same
6th
then.
year, 5th or 6th year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So like last year of like primary school, we'd call it here in the UK.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So as you're moving
I
into
always had
secondary.
I never had a boyfriend, but I was always in love with somebody. I was like, "That's all right. I don't need it to be returned to me. You just have my unconditional love, and I am a Taurus. I'm a very loyal person, and, I'm just here for you, Peter Brackley." The hell? Oh, there's a new
Oh,
one
actually,
every week. I'm like, "Oh, maybe he's the one. Maybe he's the one. Maybe he's the one."
one of the before we jump off, one of the things that I was curious to go back on a little bit. You
Yeah.
mentioned one of your shows was about unicorns.
Oh, Bulletproof Unicorn. Yeah.
Bulletproof Unicorn. Tell me a little bit about Bulletproof
Okay.
Unicorn and what that one was about then.
Okay, so basically that's the story about my brother being very, very unwell, mental health issues and addiction and all this stuff. And I thought everybody in my family sees me as the person who can come down and fix and save and repair and rebuild. They just have put this on me. They're like, Stacie can do the hard thing. Whatever, I can't lift things like physically. I'm not strong like that, but
Mhm.
the way that I carry myself through life, I'm like I can do the hard stuff. So I took it upon myself to go down and help my brother get mental health support, and he had been beaten severely, and so his face was all fucked up, and I was like, I'm going to take you to the clinic. He was living in a cheap motel room. I was like, forget the whole family. They're not important right now. Forget everything. I understand you come from a very different situation than I do in our family, and I'm here to help you. I love you unconditionally, and I just want you to be okay. In the midst of this, all hell is breaking loose with all other things, and the whole thing centers around where are the guns? Because it's Texas, it's America. There were these guns. They were at my parents' house. My brother stole them because we told him to. And then when my brother became a danger and he was threatening me and my kids, I said, we got to get those
Mhm.
guns back. And then he had this sugar mama. This Buddhist named Zen was in the mix. And I was like, so I friended her and I was like, can you meet me in a parking lot and bring me those guns? And she was going to give me the guns. And then I was going to take I was just like, for me, it was a mom's to-do list. I was like, I'm going to get the guns. I'm going to go help my brother. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, in all of that, he snapped. And then he started threatening me for about 72 hours, emails, voicemails, texts, saying he knew where I was, that he looked forward to hunting down and killing me and my kids, and it became very, very scary and a very, very different situation. So then I had to get
Mhm.
the cops involved, and they went and arrested him and threw him in jail for one night. He got one night in jail for threatening to murder me and my kids. Anyway, so it kind of introduced the dysfunction of my family under this story. And why is it called Bulletproof Unicorn? Is because I am the unicorn. Everybody calls me the unicorn. They're like, if you need some magic in your life, call Stacie. She makes
I
impossible things
didn't.
happen.
That's why I
Yeah,
asked Stacey because I
yeah.
knew you was the unicorn. I knew it was going to be coming back to you.
I'm just like, you can't hurt me. That you, I am because I don't play on the same level as you do. You know what I mean? There's
Mm,
one thing that's important to me is the safety of my kids. So of course I had to protect my kids, but I was like, my kids can be over here. Like I would take a bullet for them and I almost had to, but I was
mm,
like, I am joyful and I'm magical and I am always like,
yeah,
okay, what are we dealing with today? It was just a list as if I were going to the grocery to get milk and juice and cheese and yogurt or whatever. I was like, okay,
mhm,
I'm gonna go solve my brother's problems. Anyway, I
wonderful.
he's estranged now. I cannot have a relationship with him
Mhm,
for many reasons, but yeah, but then I'm like, okay. So I'm back in California. He's there in Texas, and I just kind of have to leave the dysfunction behind me because I live in a beautiful, and even if it wasn't a beautiful place, location, it's beautiful because I'm in it. And I'm bringing magic
mhm,
and play and joy and humor. And my kids are funny as shit and they're hilarious. And we listen to music and I got crazy dogs who I cannot believe they stayed quiet for an hour. That
yeah.
never happens.
Well, that's amazing.
I put
You
some
must have been
magic on
using
them.
your
I was
magical
like,
your magical
my
powers out
unicorn
there.
energy. But yeah, so I am the bulletproof unicorn. And, you
Of
know,
course.
I already know what next year's show is gonna be, by the way. I can't
Oh,
wait to
go on
get
then.
through
Yeah,
Fool's
yeah,
Goldmine because I'm like, I already know what it's gonna be.
that's good.
Do
Yeah,
you
well,
wanna
tell
do you
me,
wanna trailer
we,
do you want a little
yeah,
preview?
yeah, give me a little preview. I've got
And then
one
we
more
gotta say
question
goodbye.
for you after
Oh, no,
that,
go
and then
ahead,
we'll
go
have to
ahead, go
say
ahead.
goodbye.
Go ahead.
And
No,
then
no, no,
we'll
go
have to
ahead.
we're gonna have to catch up at the
Oh, in
Fringe
Edinburgh.
itself
Oh,
in
absolutely,
Edinburgh. Yeah,
100%,
like
100%. Okay,
we're gonna be catching up at the Fringe. We'll be catching up at the Oxford, I'm sure.
absolutely. Shout out Oxford. What's up, Connor? Yeah, no, go ahead. You go with your question. You go with your
No,
question.
before I jump into that, I do want to know. Just give me a little tiny sneak peek of what the future holds. And
Well,
what is
I
next?
can't give you a sneak peek, but I will
Okay.
tell you the title is called Not So Fun Bags. This is a departure from the norm because one of the
Yeah.
surgeries that I elected to have this year was a breast reduction surgery. And there were
Okay.
many reasons I did it, mostly because it was like pain in my neck and my shoulders. And I was like, whatever. But it's all about coming to terms with the body that I have and like the body that I've
Mhm.
always been like, "Ugh, I'm embarrassed about my body." And I was like, Fuck that. Come on." So it's a whole thing, but it's called Not So Fun Bags and it will be a musical and it will be hopefully more funny than not. But I just think it's so funny. I can already see the poster now. So I'm like, okay, let's hurry up and do Fool's Goldmine so I can talk about my boobs.
So you can jump into the next one. Don't forget to
Exactly.
though enjoy this moment of
Oh,
Fool's Gold.
I always
Don't
do.
don't
I always do.
yeah.
Yeah, I always do.
Don't forget to be here. But that's funny.
Yeah.
Like even it's funny. That I was driving my daughter in the car this morning, and she said to me, "Dad, don't you want to get some work done? Don't you want to get your
Mm-mm.
hair? Don't you want to
Well,
get your hair sorted?"
that's what Not So Fun Bags is all about because
Yeah, and
I live in Los Angeles. Everyone gets work done here. And I'm like,
yeah,
how shallow and vapid does it make me if I go and get a breast reduction surgery? Like, I'm not getting a
yeah.
boob job. I'm not getting I did get a lift. Anyway, I'm not giving you a
Was it?
peek today, but maybe in the show. Anyway, we'll have some fun. We'll
Well,
have some
so
fun.
I said to my daughter, "This is the avatar that I chose, so I'm going to just stick with it for now."
I think it's great. I find it, look, especially when I see people with too much work done and it's like the MAGA face that all the Trump people
Mhm,
have and faces that don't have elasticity. I'm like, oh, they terrify me. They look like aliens. I'm
mm.
like, no, 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 no. I don't need that.
No,
I'm
no,
just gonna be me. How's that?
it's
It's cheaper
perfect.
to just be me. I do get my hair done though. I will say that. I do get my
Yeah,
hair done.
I think there's it's different
I
for
need to get my hair
different
done. I haven't had
places.
it done in a long time because I've been in and out of the hospital. I was like, whatever. But now I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna be on stage again. I better get it done. Anyway, okay, what was your final question? I
So my
took us
final
off the rails.
question. The first time you was on the podcast late last year, I didn't have this question then that I ask all of my guests now. I've got one
Mhm.
question
Oh
for
God,
all of us because
I'm on the
I
spot.
think we've got oh yeah we've got a different we've all got a different perspective of how we can answer,
Mhm.
and some answers are simple and some answers are complex, and yeah, like I say, we've all got a different thing here that we come up with. So my question to you, Stacey, is how would you make this a better world?
Oh, more puppets. I would swap out government officials with puppets. And I would insist that every funeral, like for my funeral, no joke, I don't want anyone to wear black. but I want everyone to come dressed as a costume character. Like, it has to be an animal or something ridiculous. So at the end of the day, basically, I would say don't take things so seriously and just have more fun. That's
Wonderful.
my answer.
That was great. I'll let Jake know as well.
Oh,
More
yeah.
we're voting for more puppets in the world.
More puppets. Who knew? Who
Who
knew?
knew? See, I told you everyone has a different answer. I've not had that one
Oh,
yet.
I bet they do. Oh, Martin, this has been
Wonderful.
so lovely chatting with you. What a
It
great way
has.
to start my day.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, it has been wonderful to talk to you again, Stacey, and yeah, really looking forward to seeing you and your show at the Fringe. So, just to wrap this up,
100%.
then, where will we find you at the Fringe?
Right. So I'm at Greenside all month, but I'm in 2 different venues. So the first week I'm in the Mint studio on George Street. And then the last 2 weeks I'm at the Sprout because it was the only thing they had left. And I was dragging my feet on venue contracts. So it's great because it's only, oh, I don't know. They're both small. And so I wanted a
Mhm.
small room. I wanted it to be very intimate and hopefully I'll sell out. I wanted a small venue so I could sell out. So we'll see.
Wonderful. Yeah, it sounds like that'll make sense.
And you better be on my press list. Like, just reach out to me or
Oh,
Rosalind and just
yeah,
come
yeah, yeah.
along. And I think you'll enjoy the show. At least I hope you
Once I
will.
once I know the exact date, so once I
Yeah.
get back from Cannes, I'll
Oh,
then
mine are
I'll
evening
get.
shows. Did I not mention that? Mine are evening shows. I have like 7
Yeah.
p.m. and then like 9:45 p.m. So
Oh,
I'm
they're nice
evening this
times.
time, which is a new time for me. I've never been on the
Mhm.
late night scene, so I'm late night 7 p.m. Listen to me. I'm showing my age. Well, we better start wrapping it up. It's 8 o'clock. Anyway,
Wonderful, Stacey.
yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much, and,
Thank
yeah,
you
we'll
so
see you
much.
soon.
Bundle of fun.
Yes, it was. Wonderful, Stacey. Thank you, and,
Okay.
if anyone has been watching or listening, we appreciate you for joining us for this
And I
conversation.
apologize.
What would you apologize
I'm
for?
just joking. I don't know.
Well, this has been immense fun. Thank you
I
so
know.
much.
Thank you, Martin.
Goodbye.
Bye.